Yo, and welcome to another episode of Kwesi's Corner with me, Kwesi. Today, we're going to be talking about the Bosphorus Argentum series, a brand new series that they have dropped, just like they do every year, dropping hot new things. And boy, let's get into it. So right here we have the Argentum series. The selection that we have to play is a 14 set of hats, 19 crash, and a 20-inch ride. This is just a step above, in my opinion. Basically features the same profile as the Turk series once again. The hammer is not too far off. They have added the secret ingredient. Silver, guys, has been added to these cymbals. Have a very complex sound, so they're dry, but at the same time, they got this kind of silvery, upper echelon kind of thing going on, frequency-wise, which is just beautiful. Honestly, like darkness and light, what's come together to form this, fusion. For those of you who know Dragon Ball Z, it's got this kind of finish on them, which is it's like a sand finish, and you can see that someone's run over the top and bottom very roughly, on purpose, I might add, or very roughly with some sort of wire wool or some kind of thing, so it looks almost like it was accidentally finished and taken out of the factory, this just unfinished and but it looks beautiful. So it's beautiful gold lettering on it as well. These look like pieces of art that have just been forsaken in the tombs of Sun Ra, for thousands of years and brought out. It's ridiculous. They look really amazing. Like I said, really nice hammering. The same convex profile on the bell and also on the bow of the cymbal as the Turks, but they've got this kind of brightness and dryness and sheen, which altogether creates this complex force, which is now known as Argentum. Now, Argentum, in case some of you want to do some research, is Latin for silver. So, they didn't miss a trick there. So, from the hats, you've got this really earthy, crisp sound, but obviously with that kind of high definition frequency at the top, this kind of silvery kind of delicate frequency, but at the same time that it cuts so nicely closed, and the chick just sounds really effortless and really projects really well. With there's a great bell on that as well, great little bell. You can, if you're someone who likes to play the hats and kind of fiddle around with that pause, then you will like playing with that. 19 crash is the same thing. I mean, basically you've got a really earthy ride there, fairly thin, and I'm gonna do this. I know some of you don't like when I do this, but I don't give a monkeys, mate. I'm demoing this. So here we go. Show you how thin that is. And these, remember, all cymbals are designed to be hit and bent within reason. Like, not designed to be bent as it were, but they have a certain amount of flex on them. Obviously, these cymbals being that thin, they will move like that when you hit them anyway. But they sound dark. They've got dark undertones, but with that silvery finish on the top. Nice and dry. Really well-rounded sustain, and a nice earthy bell in the center. Quite a low-pitched one as well. But in contrast, you've got this, kind of silvery, earthy finish. It's a weird mix. It's a really odd mix. But what they've done, like I said, they've taken the Turk shape and they've just refined it, and it's really come across really nicely through the mix. And again, if you're one of those who wants some sustain, who wants something to project a little bit further and cut through certain frequencies of other instruments, etc., as in high guitars or something, this is great. I mean, same thing with the bell of the ride of this series. You have a really earthy bell, obviously this being a bit heavier on this ride, this 20-inch ride. Really earthy ping on it, so you still have the definition, but albeit a bit lesser than certain other models. I'm sure if you got a heavier version of this, which I have the full intention of doing so, and we'll be making an order very soon, a custom order. But get a heavier one. Obviously, it'll be a bit more pingy, cuts through a bit more. This isn't that light. I mean, this is a great all-round ride. Like I said, the bell is very cutting, yet dry and fairly low-pitched for what it is. Very crashable, and it's got this kind of unfinished look on it. I mean, you can see drips here. Some people might like that, some people might not. I personally like that because I like the fact that it's just got that look of, I just pulled this out of the factory and just ran with it. Not literally, but when you're playing these cymbals, they really do feel like old vintage cymbals, just with this kind of refined look and feel about them, and that kind of silvery finish. Like I said, they're not as cutting as, like, say for instance, Gold series or Gold, the new Gold Raw series. It's a different kind of cut. It's a bit more of a mellow cut than you would have with some of the other series, which is just a high-end, sharp, that's it. But this has a cut, but more earthy and mellow. Remember, these guys have been going for 20 years plus. What's it, 24, 25 years now? So, they've had time. And before them, remember, it comes from a family of cymbal makers that dates back to Zildjian times, So, they have time to experiment and try out different sounds and alloys. And in their experimenting, they've come up with this particular set, which has blown me away. Even more so than the Raw series. It's ridiculous. Me personally, as a drummer, I like shiny cymbals. Who doesn't? But not as much as I do with the earthy looking, ones. And they look amazing. And I don't want to have to polish my cymbals all the time. I want it to sound bright without having that, oh, I've got some marks on it. You know what I mean? So just from an aesthetic kind of perspective, these do the job nicely. Put my fingerprints on it. Like, it just looks and feels amazing. And obviously that reflects in the sound as well. Whereas you have that kind of, like I said, earthy, rich, high-pitched tone, but earthy undertones, if that makes sense. So all in all, Argentum, brand new series, love it. Got a lot of respect for the guys at Bosphorus for yet again coming out with another relevant cymbal series, because a lot of companies tend to come out with cymbals that have been done to death, or I don't know, man, just haven't. There hasn't been as much thought process into it, I'm not going to name names, but, they just follow the crowd and they do what they got to do. But from what I know and seeing of the Bosphorus stuff, they really do their best to, to come out with stuff that's original, that has not been done before, and they do it in their way which obviously adds to it. And props again to those guys for coming up with another amazing cymbal range. You better try this out. Jazzers, contemporary drummers, whatever you do, like, have a look, see if that works for you. Thanks for watching. We hope this has been helpful to you. If you like what you've seen, please do like, subscribe. If you don't like what you've seen, please do like and subscribe. If you do not, let us know what you think in the comments, or if you do. And anything would be helpful to us in bringing to you better content over the coming months and years. So thanks once again for watching, and thank you, Bosphorus, for letting us have these cymbals, and I shall continue to play deep in the night. Take care.